was like in school. Maybe you're a goody two-shoes, or you might be a bit mischievous, always getting yourself and your friends into trouble. I know it's hard to believe, but I wasn't the best behaved in school. In my class we had 4 groups of people: the nerdy people, the popular people, the standard people, and then we've got the rowdy and loud and misbehaved students. And I don't know which group you're a part of or which one you choose to be a part of, but I chose the rowdy misbehaved group. And one day in a PE lesson with my class, I was sat with a group of friends on the bench waiting for my turn to play netball, when one of my friends dared me to pull this big silver screw out of the wall and pass it on down the line. Now, I knew this hook was really important because it holds up lots of the equipment and it's there for our safety, but I was so concerned about being part of my group and not wanting to look like a wuss that I yanked the screw out the wall and passed it down the line. Me and my friends were sniggering away at ourselves until our PE teacher stopped us and the whole lesson and screamed at the class and wanted someone to own up to what had happened. And after a few minutes I owned up, and the teacher sent me to the corridor where I was shouted at and I was put on behaviour report for the next month.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
When I think back to it, it's crazy that I was so concerned about being noticed and included and accepted by my friends that I decided to do something so silly that had big consequences for me. That's what happened to me. Have you ever heard someone say, "Oh, it just happened to me," or "I can't believe this is happening to me"? And it's true, sometimes things in life just happen to us, like our phone screen gets cracked, or the coach breaks down on the way to Limitless Festival, or you get injured trying to score a goal. Other times in life, what happens to you is actually something you chose for yourself. Like you got a G7 in your exam because you studied and revised really hard, or you got a detention because you chose not to do your homework. You were given a place on the worship team because you chose to work really hard and be brave and take that audition. Or you didn't get the soloing dance because you went unprepared. You didn't get into trouble because you decided to go home on time like your parents asked. Or you got grounded because you chose to break the rules. For most things in life, consequences you experience are usually because you made a choice that led you there. Often you don't make all your choices alone either. Just like I didn't, my friends told me what to do and I did it. Friends have the potential to lead us to really great decisions or really bad ones. Maybe you have a friend that told you to cheat on your test or encouraged you to lie to your parents. A friend that told you to steal or told you to leave someone out of the group chat. Ultimately, it's your decision if you do these things, but your friend's pushing you to do it.
Just do it!
So how do we surround ourselves with friends who are leading us in the direction that we want to go? Friends that influence us to make decisions that are good for us. I don't know where you go when you're looking for advice. Maybe you go to your siblings because you're close to them. You might go to influencers and YouTubers. Maybe you Google it or you ask your parents. You can find really great advice in some of these places, but the Bible also talks about friendship too. There's a guy called Solomon who had a lot of wise things to say about relationships and life in general. Other than Jesus, Solomon is considered to be one of the wisest people that walked the earth. God gave Solomon lots of wisdom, and lots of it was written down for us to learn from today. So in the book of Proverbs in the Bible is where we can read some of Solomon's wisdom about friendship. It says this: "The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray." If you read more in the Proverbs, you can see a lot of comparisons similar to this. Often one kind of person is compared to the opposite to prove a point. Like the hard worker to the lazy one, the wise person is compared to the fool, or the abrupt person is compared to someone who speaks really carefully. But Solomon and the other writers in the book talk most about the comparison of the righteous and the wicked. By righteous, he simply means someone who chooses the right thing or makes the right decision. It's a choice that follows the way that God wants us to live. As Solomon said here, one of the things that righteous people do is choose their friends carefully. They choose friends that help them stay on the right path. I know in school sometimes it can be hard to choose friends. Sometimes you just choose the friends because they're people that are around you, maybe in your class, in your form, or the people that you sit next to on the bus. Maybe you don't have much of a choice because there's not many to choose from, which makes sense. But we're talking less about who you spend your time with here, but more about who influences you. Maybe the question to ask is not, are they good people, but are they good people for me right now? If you look at the verses again, Solomon reminds us that trouble leads to trouble. This is why it's so important to be wise about who you choose to be your closest friends. So what are some of the things that you can do? Number 1, you can choose friends carefully. Not everyone deserves to be your best friend, because friends who are closest to you have the most influence on you. So choose people who help you to make wise choices in your life. Number 2, spend time with real friends. Not because you want to make people feel excluded or leave people out of the group, but because you want encouragement, wisdom and friendship that will make you be the best person that you can be. And number 3, remember Solomon's words when it comes to friendship. Be wise about your friends. Be wise about the ones who you choose. And this is what we want Limitless Southport to be like, a safe place where you can encourage one another, a place where you can see God working in and through each other's lives, a place of real friendship.